Hi everyone, my name is Mehta. I'm currently an Abreu Fellow here at NEC. And on October 27th in Brown Hall, I'll be conducting the first movement of Mahler's monumental Fifth Symphony, which I've arranged for brass choir and percussion. Mahler's Fifth Symphony was one of the first pieces I encountered in the classical repertoire very early in high school. A friend of mine gave me Scholte's recording with Chicago, and I remember not being able to put it down for months. And when the opportunity came in undergrad, when I was at the University of Wisconsin to transcribe this movement for brass ensemble, I thought it would work very well because it's scored so heavily for brass anyway. So in 2007, we premiered that arrangement at Wisconsin, and since then we've performed it at Penn State a few years later, and also it was performed recently at the University of Akron under the direction of Tucker Jolly. From the audience's point of view, the goal for us is to have Mahler's Fifth Symphony sound like Mahler's Fifth Symphony. We've tried to create a transcription that is going to stay true to as many of Mahler's original intentions as possible. As a conductor, conducting brass players is a slight adjustment to conducting Mahler's Fifth with the orchestra. First of all, they're a lot closer to you than they would be in the orchestra. The intimacy of having them in two rows and only 20 players in front of you requires even that much more attention to detail and nuance. The control that string players and woodwind players can exhibit is a challenge for brass players, and that's a big part of executing this arrangement. And I've hopefully scored it in a way that's both sensitive to Mahler's intentions, but also accessible for brass players to execute it in a way that's going to be true to the original score. I think Brown Hall is going to be a great venue for us. It's a large space with high ceilings. Brass players love resonance. It's also an intimate enough environment where the depth of the subject matter of Mahler's music can be readily experienced by the audience members. And we're hoping we can create this atmosphere, the intimacy of a funeral happening right inside Brown Hall. I'm really looking forward to working with the students at NEC. The performance level here is incredible, and I know the players will be very sensitive in how we perform this work for everybody, because not only do they have a direct relationship with Mahler's Fifth Symphony like all brass players do, but they know that in some ways this is an opportunity for us to show as brass players what we can do without woodwind and string players, and still have the gamut of emotions and timbres and sensitivity through just the brass instruments. It's really exciting for brass players to pay tribute to Mahler and perform the first movement of his fifth without any so-called help from woodwinds and string players. I think you have to come and see how closely we can replicate the original timbres that Mahler had written for, and hopefully the scoring and the sensitivity from both the conductor and the players will allow that to happen.